You know what sucks? When things on your vision board just don't happen whatsoever. If you have experienced that, I want to give you some other tools that can help with some of the goals and things that you have before you do your vision board, or as an add on as the ultimate vision board. Maybe you don't have all the magazines with the perfect pictures or access to a printer or feel like even just printing the things or using Pinterest. Whatever the case may be, you can make this as simple or as intricate as you want. But sometimes we're missing some key pieces when it comes to our vision board. And I want to share what I love to do, what I did last season, and then what I'm going to do this season. So I love to start off with the things that I value. So I make them into categories first. And I normally do a rough draft first and then make it look pretty. So the things that I value are mind, body, spirit, right? So my mind, my mental, my body, my physical, what I'm eating, how I'm moving, things like that, my spiritual, my being, just my essence. And then I put other categories that I value as well, which I like to call my F's, which is my fun life. What am I doing for fun? Like hobbies, things like that. Also, friends, family, community. That's another thing I highly, highly value. My finances and career is a whole nother thing. Sometimes I've done a vision board just for my finances and career alone, just because I will break down my business and my business will have its own vision board. And so that's something I'll do. Another category I like to do as well is what am I doing for others? What am I doing in my community? How am I giving? Things like that. Because when I give, it gives so much back to me. And not even that, I feel good. I just feel like there's a different energy around giving, and I love it, love it, love it. So now you have kind of just the beginning framework of building out your ultimate vision board, right? You have those values. Now, under these values, you're going to consider them like categories. So, under, let's say, your physical category, if that's a category for you, you get to make your own categories here. It's important to look at what's really important to me, what really matters to me, right? For me, one of those things is physical. So I have my physical category. And so under each category, you will have a goal. That is, this is the dream, this is the vision, this is what I'm shooting for. My focus is here. Under the goal, you will have the action step, right? That is the key piece. And with action steps, I love to put a time piece. So either I'm going to do this three times a week, either I'm going to do this once a month, something like that, to give myself some direction of how much do I need to do this action to hit this goal, right? Or where in the day do I need to put this action so I can hit this goal? Because there's certain times of the day where we may be more likely to hit a goal. And there's certain times of the day where we know if, let's say, we wait till the end of the day, it's just not happening. I know for me, if I wait till the end of the day to work out, honey, it's not happening. Everything else will win. So I know I need to get that done closer to the beginning of the day if I want to succeed in that area. That's another thing too. You learn so much about yourself when you put these time blocks in and are more likely to reach your goals. So you won't have a vision board where you're looking at it and it's like, well, none of these things happened, right? So no, 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 no. We're going to build the ultimate vision board. So let's start here. So for example, physical for me, the goal is to get more conditioned, is to get more toned and gain more flexibility. In order to do that, I am going to put as my action step, work out 3 to 4 times with strength training, and then adding in either some yoga or some stretching as well. And that should help me hit my goal. If I'm consistent with those things, then I will hit that goal. And then I'm not worried about it. I'm feeling good and all of the things. Here's another example for mental, my mindset that matters to me, right? So one of the things I have on my mental is like, how am I educating myself? And so for me, sometimes I may not have access to those people right away. So I love finding people either on social media or listening to podcasts of people that I really admire and taking notes or having one takeaway that I got from what I'm reading, what I'm listening to, and surrounding myself that way. Because sometimes I'm in a season where I may not be around people that have gone through that season or succeeded in that season in the way that I want to succeed in that season. Totally fine, but now I need to find these people. I need to outsource. So instead of just sitting there, woe is me, these are all the people I know. I don't know anybody that's done that before. No, I try to get resourceful, and I love podcasts. Podcasts are my jam, okay? And especially when you're driving in the car, throw on a podcast, cleaning, podcast. And it's so funny because I used to be a DJ, and so I always had music going, always, always, always. And now I have really replaced as much as I listen to music with like podcasts. And it's been great because I'm learning so much along the way. Now, sometimes you can do a little too much podcasting or too much of anything, and you got to switch it up. So, because it can get stale, but I love doing that. So my goal with mental big goal is just edifying myself and surrounding myself with information. Like for me, I'm in a season of learning more about structuring my finances, growing my business, also personal development and wellness, right? So I have focused on what are some key people or some key podcasts that I just want to have on rotation, and making sure that I get one takeaway that I can apply from that podcast. So that is something that I am doing. I have my goal, which is edifying myself, educating, really preparing my mind, and then the action step, which is listening to these podcasts, surrounding myself with those people. So I am just sharing the highlights of my vision board, but just to give you some ideas, just in case you haven't done a vision board like this before. So another category, which is spiritual, I mentioned. For me, it's really listening to my inner wisdom, listening to the Holy Spirit, and creating that space. Like I really want to grow my capacity to be able to listen to myself, listen to the Holy Spirit, and take it in versus just action, movement, go, 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 right? So for me, the action step is being able to take some pauses and journaling, maybe in a place that inspires me, whether that's in nature, whether that's in a cool building or around some artwork, or getting just around creatives and things like that. So those are things that I would have in my spiritual category. For finances, I think it's so important to have a financial structure in place. If I do this, this is going to grow, and have your money make money, right? That is the piece. Not me working for income. I would like my money to make income for me. So making sure all those structures are in place, and things like that. I'm not going to dive too deep. Everybody's finances are different there. But for me, one of the things that I'm doing, one of my action steps, is putting my investments, some of them on recurring, just recurring, paying that investment. So then it can multiply, and then my money is making money and making money. So that is the goal, and putting up a family structure as well for that. So that is finances. Not going to talk too much about that. I have no problem talking about money, but it's just very personal too. So, and also I am not a financial advisor. I am just making my vision board. So keep that in mind. Little disclaimer. I am not your financial advisor. Do what you want. Ooh, another big financial goal for me is either next year or the year after next is being able to buy another investment property. So that is the goal, buying investment property and doing what I need to do for those things. So making sure I'm saving up, making sure I'm looking at locations, things like that, running my numbers. All right. So another category is your family, your friends, your community, right? So one of my goals for that is really just nurturing the relationships that I already have. So the possible action step for that is surprising someone sometime, or if someone comes to mind, texting them. That has been fun this year. It's just, if someone comes to mind, let me just text them in a moment really, really quickly. Hey, thinking of you. Doesn't have to be anything long, drawn out, just a quick text to let them know, like, hey, I'm thinking of you. And I love those points of connection. Instead of like a person comes to mind, you kind of let it pass. Person comes to mind, let it pass. And then let's say you may need something from that person, then now you're only going to them for stuff that you need. Really, you thought about them throughout the year, but now it's like, oh, but I need this, and depending on your relationship with that person, sometimes that can go over well, and sometimes it's like, man, this person only hit me up when they need something. So yes, just really being able to get to connect, because also right now we are going through a huge loneliness just epidemic across the board, where that connection that we're missing is so needed. So don't overthink it. If someone comes to your mind, just really connect with them, and it could be something so simple. But that loneliness epidemic that we're in right now is huge. I'm sure you felt it. If you haven't felt it, you know someone that's felt it. So one way we can combat that is truly, genuinely connecting with each other. Now, fun and hobbies. One of the things for me, and also some things will hit other categories. So for me, one of the things that I have is traveling with my friends and family, right? But that is actually in my family category, but it hits on my fun life. So I'll say, hey, travel, see friends and family category. And that way I already know it's in there because it hits on multiple buckets. Like another thing that I will have in there sometimes is journaling, right? That is the action step. And that may hit on my spiritual and my mental health as well. So you'll also see sometimes things may hit on other buckets, and you can just say, see that category or see that value if you want. All right. And my last category is for others. How am I showing up for others? And one thing that I said is I just want to volunteer my talent, my time, my treasure to organizations and to people that I feel called to, or I feel like, man, for some reason I can't let this person go, or I really believe in this cause or what this organization is doing, and I want to be a part, or I want to support. So that is something that feels good for me, and is important in my life, and I value that. So those are some ideas. You can do what you want with this. This can go from paper to poster board. And one thing I like to do afterwards, if you have time, if you want to get creative, is now you can put pictures that symbolize some of the goals that you have, some of the habits that you have. And then that can be the vision, like the picture, the images part of it. But if you don't get to that part, because sometimes we don't get to it, sometimes we may cut out the things or just collect the magazines and we don't actually get to the vision board, right? So this is to help with that piece. All you need is paper and pen, and you can write out your values. You can write out, what is the big goal here? What is the goal in this season, right? This season coming up. And then what is my action step that is going to support this, right? That's the piece that has been missing from vision boards. We have all the pretty things and all of the things, but we're missing those action steps. And even more so, if you can add a time or time of a day where you can put that in, oh, how powerful is that, right? Now we're activating our reticular activating system to really focus in and bring in those opportunities for us to really highlight those opportunities when they align with what's on our vision board. I love this for focus, alignment, just getting clear on what it is that you truly want. Sometimes in social media, we can look and we're scrolling. We're like, whoa, I want this. I want that. I want this. I want that. And we're just going to the left and the right, just swaying in the wind, going with the waves, right? But truly sitting down, having some self-reflection, what really matters to you in life? You having whatever Joe Schmo has may not be important to you, but at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, what truly, truly matters to you, and starting with that. So you're not building a vision that's someone else's vision, right? You're building your why. Why is this important to you? Now listing it out. Now supporting it. You have to support those habits. I love giving myself a date of when am I going to start my vision board, right? And really planning to sit down and reflect and do all the things. I love doing that rough draft, as I talked about before, doing a rough draft first and then making it look beautiful on a poster board. So if you want to do this ultimate vision board, let me know. What are some things you would put on your vision board? If it's something I didn't mention, what's something that you value that you feel is, oh man, I have to have this on my vision board, right? So share that in the comments. We want to know, what are you going to put on your ultimate vision board? I would love to see your ultimate vision board, whether it is on a post-it note that's posted up. Also, key thing I almost forgot, please put it somewhere where you can see it. Don't just chuck it away in a notebook. Post this somewhere where you can see it. And sometimes I like to move my vision board because, ooh, this is key right here. Moving the vision board, sometimes you can get used to seeing it. And when you're used to seeing something, you actually don't see it. So if I was to put it in my bedroom, let's say in a normal spot on the wall and I left it there for a year or even less, maybe a couple of months, I may even forget that it's there, even though I'm seeing it until something just draws my attention to it. But sometimes every quarter, so like every 3 months, I like to move my vision board. So then I'm like, what is that doing there? Oh, my vision board, just in case I lose track and I'm just not focused, or just sometimes life happens and it knocks us down and we're like, whoop, that bump almost took me out, or that mountain tried to take me out. And when I'm standing up, what am I standing up to? What am I walking towards, And it may look like that, or it may look like something that's revised from that. But I want to encourage you in whatever this next season brings for you, just some focus, some clarity, some alignment for what's true for you, not what your mom and dad would want for you, not what your peers may want from you, but really just getting aligned in what truly matters at the end of the day and starting there. So I wish you all the best in your ultimate vision boards. So that is my tips on creating an ultimate vision board, and I wish you all the best.